What are you doing? But yeah, I just played online with a bunch of Webtails players, many of whom are still around, some of whom are not, but... And then, just because I have a programming background, I was interested in messing around with the game. Is this a shapeshifter? I don't know why I'm using lightning bolt, don't really have to, but that's alright. We did it anyway. Serenimal, if you're experienced, like my win rate. Hey Sir, how's it going? My win rate in like 0.19 and 0.20. Alright, so 50%. That's not playing. That's actually not quite accurate. Some of those games, unfortunately, are played on a server that had some reporting issues. But it was like 100% for a while in the current. Well, I think it was like 2 games in a row. It was 100%. But it's really easy to win a game. Right now, I'm actually going for a category. I'm going to win what's called a greater 1-in-1, which is a 1-in-1 is when you play a particular combo once and you get a win. And a greater 1-in-1 is when you've done that for each class that's in the game, a combo that. For each and every class, you've won a combo that has that class. So if the class is Summoner, if you win, Octopode Summoner in one try, then you have a 1-in-1 for Summoner. And likewise for Race, Octopode Summoner, if you won that in one try, you would have a 1-in-1 for Octopode as well. So I'm going for that Chivo. There are people who have done, the longest streak is at something like 43 games by Elliptic. It's probably like the most experienced crawl player of anyone. So you can win the game with experience pretty well. But it's kind of, you've probably played like really difficult games for NES or something. And like, that somebody can win, Contra in one life, and it just kind of takes practice. It's not necessarily like, it's not any special rare thing or anything. It just kind of takes some practice. Cosmic Afro's Ghost. He doesn't resist orbs of destruction very well. Like many things don't. Oh, I'm at the vault. Might be a good time to pay attention to what the hell I'm doing. Let's swift it up. Huh. Nice. Good torment. Let's see what we can do with nice. These guys summons? Yes. Hello, friend. Yep, charge in and tornado it. I'll charge right into the center, I'll blink right into the center, I'm gonna be like, give a great speech, an epic punchline. Why don't you choke on these winds of fury? And then I'll look at my spell list and I'll realize I don't have Tornado memorized, and I'll just say something like, oh. Alright, see you, Ziggy. Boy, we're getting everybody, all the fun. Didn't really make a lot of noise, but we sure woke everyone up. Gotta be a little bit careful with this because... Okay. Alright. This is good. Might not want to stair dance that one again, I don't know. Let's resist. Oh yeah, not see invisible. Yeah, this is a little nasty right here because you've got somebody with Hellfire. So I'm actually gonna go back up and Crystal. Yeah, you see how that happened. I got down to that HP. That situation right there is just way too dangerous. Definitely gotta use some other stairs. Fight these guys more in a line. Also would be pretty wise to go ahead and try to make sure we clear out the rest of the vault before damn it, this is a pain. Just want to get these guys a little bit closer. Now that this vault is all woken up, I'm gonna have to deal with the stuff in the vault, in the main vault, and then all this side stuff. And that's kind of bad because if you're trying to deal with the vault a lot, and you get flanked by like anything from just normal, you know, deep elf knights. Another Blade Master, impressive. If I can hit him with OD, oh yeah. Times. Wow. Blaze and aid. MR check ever truly go to 0? You mean a 15 rune run, Trenlo? Yeah, done a bunch. Most, I have about 75 online wins, and I think something like 10, 15 rune wins. 15 rune wins basically aren't really harder than 3 rune ones. It's actually, in this game, it's a lot harder to get from 0 to 3 than it is from 3 to 15, generally speaking. It's more of like just being experienced and knowing what to expect, but in terms of like actually being successful, you get super powerful in this game, and then most of the runes after that end up being kind of a, what you might uncharitably call a victory parade. Yeah, and my first win was actually a 15 rune all rune win back in 0.011, I think it was. Most people don't do a 15 rune win on their first, but quite a number do, because it's not all that much harder. It's just relative lack of experience. You could definitely end up dead, and it's kind of better to get one win for your first win, and then instead of starting all over. Does it ever truly go to 0? I actually don't know if it does actually become 0 with enough MR. There are, though, MR immune monsters, so for those, it is truly 0. You cannot hex them. Even if you use a Vuln scroll, it won't change it. But those will say MR infinity. I did not... I had a run offline that I had 2 runs offline. One that got to 3 runes, or one that got to a couple runes and then vaults, and then I quit it, and another one that got to 3 runes and I quit it because I was really busy at the time, and I was like, oh, I don't have time to finish this, because I knew it was going to take more time, so I actually just quit the runs. And lots of deaths, of course, but nothing for like 15 runes related. And no, the first time I got 3 runes, I got 15. I mean, it's not too uncommon to do this. You just kind of need to maybe read wiki advice, you know, for like, well, what do you have to do here? And it wasn't too tough. Yeah, it's certainly wiser to just get a win. And some people have gotten 3 runes and then gone on to get more runes trying to get 15 on their first win and died, so... It's more a question of, like, do you have the information to do it? Not so much is it a skill-based thing, in my opinion, but... Certainly you can make mistakes that you wouldn't make in a 3 rune, because there are some different monsters, but... Yeah, Trunlo, oh, nice. Let's try that again. On my YouTube, look up Hill Orc Wizard. That's a Sif 15 rune win. I think that's the only 15 video that I have uploaded, but I will do another 15 rune this tournament, but it's probably not going to get recorded. And of course you can find other videos. Ultraviolent 4, who is just in here, he's got videos of 15 runes. Mine was a Firestormer, which is pretty typical. And of course my first 15 rune win was a melee character, High Elf Fighter of OgAE, and then you converted to TSO, so pretty conventional. And that Hill Orc also did a complete Zig too, did all 27 levels of a Ziggurat, so you get to see that, which is sort of an extra thing. I didn't go in to do Mega Zigs or anything, but wow, a lot of Deep Elf Blade Masters this one. Enchant armor, we're getting there. Yeah, it's a good first win combo. Human is nice because it's not nearly so strong as a Minotaur, so you will have a bit of a harder time. I guess if you're going to win a Berserker, maybe it would be fine to go ahead and play a Minotaur. And if you did Human and maybe something else, it would maybe be a bit more interesting, but still, that means that your first win was not as easy as what a lot of people had. I actually chose a favorite story I like to tell is why my first win was a High Elf Fighter is because I was playing around with when I was first playing Crawl and trying to figure out what to play. Ooh, we got some artifacts here. I was just sort of picking characters randomly. Nice. Poison. Kind of want that strength. Our free our poison is cool, and Dex would give us a little bit more EV, but we don't super need it. My god, Lugono's Castigation. It's a busy ring. And what's my other fly ring? Our Poison. Is this one? That one is. Okay, so this replaces our MR minus ring, which was a little bit scary to wear. It's also our flight ring. And I guess our RN ring. And yeah, I was just messing around with characters, and I was just randomly picking something. So at some point, I must have chosen High Elf, probably because, you know, Tolkien, and I was like, oh, let me see what this is like. I was just starting up the character and messing around a few turns and not really playing. And I probably chose High Elf Fighter at some point, and then I looked down and I saw this tab key, and it was like High Elf Fighter. And I was like, oh, that must be the default combo that they recommend for you for new players. And then, so I just hit tab and it chose that. I was like, oh, High Elf Fighter. Okay, well, I'll play this. And so I played that like, you know, 40 times or whatever, you know, 50 times to get however long it took to get to the first win. And only later on did I realize that tab was the key for choose the last combo that you started a game with. So it was not the recommended beginner combo. Quite the opposite of that. So it pays to read carefully. It even said like, I think it even says like previous character, but for some reason I just read that, I just saw that and I was like, oh, that's what that has to mean. Hey Gordon, how's it going? Half-hour crawl stream before work, yeah? After that, we're all going to Gordon's work. We're gonna be job shadowing Gordon for the rest of the day. I hope everyone's ready and pack your lunches. I think they have pretty good donuts where Gordon works, so I hope everyone's really excited. Oh, whoa. Okay, maybe this is a little bit more than what we signed up for. We might need to get a permission slip signed by our parents. So this is a vault. Oh god, there's still a huge portion. Alright, so what I'm going to do is actually exclude this. I'm going to exclude these two entrances right here and go back to auto explore. Now I will have to fight some stuff that is kind of leaked out of the vault because apparently I had entrance stairs right next to one of the entrances, but wow, yeah, there's just... We'll pull this guy up. Some more heal wounds. Deep Elf Annihilators are always like the major concern. Getting like nearly surrounded by... You know, you could have not blinked. You could have just been nice and decided, I'm not going to blink this time. But that's not what you did. Yep, this is all sorts of loot from the vault. And by the time we get in there, it's going to be fairly well cleared out. But there's a lot more of this level. It's sort of a weird layout in some ways. Because this, it's so centered in the corner. Dang. Yeah, this is, everybody is... My rule for doing Elf 3 is minimum of like 150 HP. If you want to be super safe, you will really put off Elf 3 or even not do it. It is a really dangerous level. It's got stuff. Deep Elf Annihilators are pretty much the single biggest reason, because they can just do so much damage. On top of things like, you know, Deep Elf Blade Masters with distortion and other stuff like that. Deep Elf Master Archers are pretty nasty. Things with Hellfire. Just trying to rest up here. All we're trying to do, get some rest. Can't an ogre even rest? Well, the issue is not damage, Zerg. It's certainly great to have overwhelming damage, but the issue I'm really talking about, people go into Elf more than capable of doing lots of damage, and it is true that cloud spells are really good. Also, Poison Cloud no longer exists. That is a fair point. Poison Cloud spell is RIP in 020. So, Freezing Cloud still exists. Of course, you got the cloud, the Wand of Clouds, but that you may not have the ability to deal with that. Yeah, there are other spells, but the issue that I'm really talking about and why so many people die is they just don't have either enough HP / defenses, or they are just not careful, and they will end up dead in Elf 3 a lot. If you have less than 150 HP, it's just super easy to have some kind of ranged hit and then get a follow-up from an Annihilator with the Crystal Spear. And to give you an idea of what I mean, say in current versions, yeah, Hubris will kill you every time. These are stats for the last 2 versions of how many people reach the end of Elf without dying. Yeah, and sorcerers are actually a bigger problem because they have corrosive bolt, and they always have hellfire as well. The zealots are also kind of a problem because they're like Hellions, and they can call down blasts of hellfire that you can't dodge. I think the biggest killers are still pretty much annihilators, and then maybe sorcerers. Certainly, demonologists do a lot of assistance, and they even get some direct kills, and they also have banish. Yeah, elementalists are sort of an assist monster. They can set up some nasty situations. If you're trying to use a kill hole, they can thwart that. With you can still use kill holes pretty effectively. Sequel, are you dead? Well, that may be true, Teapot. Teapotahedron. It's a great name, by the way. But Elf is a branch where it happens more frequently than a lot of others for advanced, for late game characters. Yeah, these guys have Burst of Hellfire, and they know how to use it. Wow, really? You're gonna end it, Elf? I think it'll matter saying not bot. Surprised that one timed out. It's not that many. LM queries take, there we go. So yeah, about 10% of people who make it into Elf 3 die there, which is a lot less than people who die, say, well, let's look. Yeah, if you look at layer like branches, you'll see that the layer ends are less, that they don't kill you 10% of the time. Elf has a pretty good kill rate, and this is with characters that are a lot stronger than those branches. Alright, so I guess we're fully explored. Fine, I can take off these exclusions now because the only thing we've got left is the vault, which is not going to have too many monsters left, but it's definitely going to have some. Ooh, this one. Oh yeah, that's why. This is a good one. It's got everybody sort of all out in the open. Yeah, you can see how the vault's pretty much emptied out here. There's like nobody left. And there was two. Is that seriously it? Two? Two elves left. Okay. Let's see what we need here. We're gonna drop Holy Word, drop Book of Conj, Book of Fire, Book of Annihilations. That's a fancy one. Maybe we'll go ahead and stop maces right now. Still at 36%, but with Wizardry we're certainly going to be... And this is a nice ring too, because we want RC for slime. %, so this is very castable. I can cast Chain. Really heavy food cost to that still though, it's the only issue. Scarf, what are we wearing right now? Oh, good timing on that. This character is mostly using spells like just Bolt of Drain for multi-hitting elves, and I do have Chain. If I had wanted to use Chain, I absolutely could have. It's a pretty hunger-intensive spell, so I'm trying not to overdo it. And we're still working on the fail rate. I might stop Conj now at 18. It would be pretty smart. And just focus on air magic so that we can get Tornado castable. That would be nice. Yeah, here's a player dump. That link right there, you can read that file. That's basically all the detail on my current character. You don't need to carry around this. There's our Staff of Energy. That's a good one. We're gonna keep that. Might, if we start using a bunch of Tornado, we might Spirit Shield I'm not going to wear. It's a very powerful ego. It's super powerful, but it... Actually with Sif, it's not so bad. You can just chain if you take a bunch of damage, but I have so much HP on this guy. It is actually highly effective as extra HP, to be fair, because I have 56. Just does require a bit of care if you get hit and lose. Oh, see, now you get the Demon Trident. I can't. I don't got any cross train. That's a shame. What do you do? Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod is pretty decent, but you kind of need some. Kind of need some Evo with it, and I'm not really all about that.